hours. Gain your parents' trust. Luke, let's pretend you are driving and you lost trust with your mom or dad. If they don't trust you, you won't drive a lot. Let's pretend that Benjamin ran a light and almost hit a car. Your parents aren't going to trust you. Let's pretend Kyle comes home late at night and then your parents aren't going to trust you. Your parents have to trust you in order for you to drive. I did my segment 2 test yesterday. I had 3 students who were 17. They have less than 35 hours. I had one kid almost 18. Okay? You're all right, E. You're good. So if you don't have a regular routine, because we're human, our class is from 6:30 to 8:30, but tonight it's going to be to 8:45. Okay? I talked to my boss the other day. I kept my promise. He said, you can do whatever you want. You can do 5 minutes per session. You can do 15. The class will go to 8:45 tonight. Okay? That will make up to 15 minutes. I made a mistake. I went to the high school instead of being here for segment 1. So I owned it, and you got to be here to 8:45. Okay? That meets the state requirement. I'm covered. You're covered. That's personal responsibility. So you need to be driving to school. You need to be driving home if possible. You need to be, Mom, Dad, I can go anywhere. I can take you to the store. I can go to grandma's. I can go to uncle's in Ohio. But a lot of you won't do that. Because like Landon, he's just smashing them through right now. Let's pretend like Landon, I'm capping your tea right now. So let's pretend Landon is putting his personal things ahead of focusing on class. Just pretending, because a lot of you are going to take AP classes. And you should, Noah. You should take college level classes. But they take a lot of time. And sometimes you're going to have to make a decision. I need to study to 12 o'clock, but I need to drive tomorrow night. I'm going to skip driving. So it depends on your life. If you're serious about getting your license by 16, 16 and a half, 16, 8, 16, 9, you're going to make the commitment. Okay? Like some of you won't finish segment 1 in 6 weeks. You missed a day. You got sick. You got kicked out of class. This class is a makeup. Some of these students got kicked out of class for various reasons, right? So this class is a makeup. So each of you have a story. Okay, example, I made a mistake the other day. I called corporate. They told me what to do. This class goes to 8:45. If you want your full 2 hours and all of you guys want it, you're going to be here to 8:45. Some of you can't. The driving school has to follow state law. Okay, and if they don't, they'll be in non-compliance. They'll lose their license to teach driver's education. I'm going to follow that. Like I had to have you done in 6 weeks. You have to have 4 hours of observation. You have to have 24 hours of class. Okay, real life example, I have a young lady, her mother just called me. We're at the school, but no one's here. She showed up the wrong day. Her daughter should have been at the school yesterday testing. So now she's got to wait another month. Mistakes happen. Okay, so I'm just teaching you real life. I made a mistake. I went to the high school, no one was there. I flew back here, got into the basement, okay, studio, turned on the light and said, hey, I made a mistake, guys, and I owned it. So that's what you have to do. I'm going to go back to the other question now. How many driving hours do you need a day or night? We're going to look at whatever driver must know. You'll write it down. You'll be educated, because most of you want to know, how many hours do I need? When can I start driving? When can I start driving by myself? Why do we have these rules? Because your age group dies. You have more accidents than a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old or a 25-year-old. Your brain stops growing about 24, okay? Your brain will reach its full mental capacity at age 24. So you'll still be that kid wearing the Donald Duck shirt to your college graduation. And if you like Donald Duck, or fine. Or if you like Wicked, fine. But around 24 years old, Luke, you're going to say, you know what? I guess I need to grow up. I need to start wearing a shirt instead of a cutoff shirt and get a real job. And your parents are like, you know, we've asked you since you were 18, but you just didn't listen. Okay, so each of you will mature in a different way. So we'll look at the hours. Let's keep putting, I'm going backwards. Okay, 4-way stops. Let's put it to rest. The first car to get there is the first car to leave. Okay, let's pretend Noah and Grace are at an intersection at school. And Noah gets to the intersection of the hallway first. Noah goes first. Let's pretend Grace doesn't pay attention. Okay, Noah could run over Grace, and it will be Grace's fault. Okay, the first car to get there is the first car to leave, but drivers forget the rules of the right of way. And this is how accidents happen. This is how you fail your road test. The right of way, four-way stops are very confusing for beginning drivers. And that happens, right? So you have to understand that. You can't memorize it. You have to understand it. The first car to get there is the first car to leave. Hello, Grace. The first car. Hello, E. Sorry. Okay, the first car to get there is the first car to leave. And if you remember that, which you won't, and if you don't understand it, you could have an accident, you could get a ticket. If you blow a stop sign, you're going to get a silly ticket that you could avoid. But if you learn from your mom and dad, they don't really stop. They roll the stop sign. Your big brother rolls the stop sign. Your sister rolls the stop sign. Your grandmother rolls the stop sign. In your mind, you're like, I don't really have to stop. And then you really get a big ticket. Okay, so we talked about the four-way stop. If two cars come together at the same time, the car on the right has the right of way. Okay, let's keep it moving. Put more questions in. Okay, who am I driving with? And do we drive at different places? We put the schedule together. If you're on my schedule at my location, all my students have their schedule. They're on these pieces of paper, right? The company wants us to schedule you guys within the first or second or third day of class. Okay. And then you got to talk to your mom. You got to talk to your dad. You might have a party to go to, a family situation, but we want to lock you in as soon as possible to drive. Okay. So remember, I'm at this location and some of you are doing a makeup. So I don't know who you're driving with at another location. We do drive at a different place every time we drive. We start in neighborhoods, the school parking lot, main thoroughfares, roundabouts, downtown areas. I'm really trying to make you a good driver soon. How many questions are on the test? There are 80 questions on the test. 80. You have 2 hours to get them done. You take one question at a time. You read it. Some are right of way. Some are expressway. Some are situational questions. Okay. But we always do test prep. And most of you will do a good job. There's some lazy kids. You know, some people don't study. They usually can get a 70 or a 59 and just make it. Some of you, I want to be the best driver in the class, right? It's all good. So I want to keep going. Will I be assigned with a random student or do I choose someone? Ben, we usually group students in groups. So Ben, you know this. And I try to drive in groups of 2 or 3. It's called time management. It's more efficient to drive multiple students instead of one student. Okay. So again, we lock in, we get people set, and then we just go on with the schedule. I know it's a scary commitment of time, and I get it. Some of you are not used to that commitment, but you're in school. You know when your midterm is, you know when your test is. I give pop quizzes. I'm one of those teachers. And you guys are going to have pop quiz tonight pretty soon on road signs and on night driving and defensive driving, because I always test you because you need to be the best. Okay. And you guys have had good teachers. You've had lazy teachers. You know what it's about. Okay. I'm one of those very hard teachers who's going to make you work, make you talk, make you interact. And kids usually cause problems. They get muted. Like this class, I had to mute it because some of you say random stuff, right? And then I mute it. You lose that privilege. And it happens sometimes, right? Because, you know, we're social. But I take the class very serious. And the company knows this, okay? We talked about, in terms of, you guys have 15 minutes to make up. The class goes to 8:45. That's all I can speak on. And I don't know how many of you need certain hours. You know what you need, makeup students. I don't know that Shaniqua needs 45 minutes. That's using Shaniqua as an example. Grace, I know you like that name, Shaniqua, or Tatiana. Okay, I'm set to be here to 8:45, and that's what I do. What happens if you make a big mistake in the road? We die, we crash, there's a police situation. So big mistakes could be running a light, cutting off a car, hitting a curb, okay? Backing into another car when you park. So I try to focus, this is real life. Like if you're not paying attention, we could crash and then the police have to be called. We want to notify the parents. The police will decide who's at fault. And if you're at fault, you get a ticket, not me. And then this will prolong you getting your permit. It's real. So this is not like playtime, Mario Kart, like we're just driving around, and we go off the road. If we go off the road, we could crash. So some kids tend to think that, and I'm looking at the questions being very honest, but we try not to make mistakes, but mistakes do happen. Like some of your friends make mistakes at school and then they get suspended a couple days, a week or 10 days, okay? So, but this is the first chance for you to try to act like an adult. Driving doesn't make you an adult, but it teaches you responsibilities. Like one of you showed up at the wrong time last weekend. I had my schedule. It happens. All right. Courtesy companies, driving companies give you study guides, okay? Everything we go over is in your digital study guide, okay? And that's your responsibility to make sure all the questions are answered. I'm not going to hold your hand and look over your neck. That's where that personal responsibility comes in at. So if you're one of those kids who's lazy, you could barely pass the test. You'll barely drive good. And it does happen. We're all human, okay? So you have to make sure you're going through the questions. We go through and try to get those quizzes correct. We look at that data. I look at it because I want to make sure you're learning. What grade do you need to pass the test? You need to pass it with, there's 80 questions. You got to get at least, I think it's a 60, I think it's a 58 or 59, okay? So if you miss more than 30 questions, you're going to fail. So if you don't study, you'll fail. When is it legal to turn right on red? After you've stopped? I'm sorry, it's legal. After you have stopped. A lot of beginners don't stop. And you blow through the red light, traffic comes, and then you get hit or you hit them. This means you failed to stop. So early on in my career, I kept wondering, why do drivers not stop? It's because you don't understand, or your instructor was trash, or you're not serious. I'm just laying it out. Your instructor has to explain it to you. You have to stop on red. Red means stop. You stop, you look left. Okay, no cars are coming. You look right. Oh, there's a pedestrian. I have to wait. But also there's a sign that says no right turn on red. So if you don't look for the sign, you don't stop and look, you're just going to blow through a red light. Don't be that kid to do it. But beginning drivers do, because you don't know. My job is to teach you. Your mom's job is to teach you. Your dad's job is to teach you. Your stepdad, your stepmom, your auntie, your uncle. But if they just sit back and say, oh, go ahead and drive, you're good, bro, then they're really doing you a disjustice. What should you do if the check engine light comes on? It depends on what serious nature it is. You could panic. You really should take it to a car automotive repair place. They'll put a scan tool. They'll plug it in and it will tell you, okay, low battery voltage. Your alternator could be bad. You could not have tightened your gas cap. Okay, it just depends. Many of you are not automotively inclined. You don't love motors. You don't build motors. You don't love the smell of gas. Maybe your mom and dad had classic cars. Your mom had a Corvette. Your dad had a Mustang. They have those cars stored in the garage. And then every summer they go to the cruise. They go to the drag strip. They go to the car show. You're like, Mom, Dad, I love you. And they're like, come on, get in the car. And then you're there on the ground with them, changing spark plugs, putting on headers, changing a cam, putting in Holley EFS, right? So if you don't come from an automotive background, you got to take that car to a car place right now. Usually it's free, and they'll tell you what's wrong, okay? So we talked about the engine check light. Sometimes it could be really simple, or sometimes it could be saying, hey, my car's ready to not work. Where do you get your permit? You get your permit from the driving school that you signed up for. They work with the state, okay? And whenever you're done, your paperwork, your drive card, your test, your attendance sheet, your roster, you're paid in full, is turned in. If you miss a day, then you have to make that up next month. If you're not paid up, you got to pay in full, okay? If your parents' credit card is declined, they'll say, hold on, this kid is not paid. You need to pull them aside. They can't attend class. So occasionally that happens. Or you do something really bad and then you get kicked out of the class. Okay? So that happens too sometimes. So you get your permit from the driving school, from the state, and then in our location, it'll be emailed to you within 10 days. 10 days. Hey, Poland, how are you doing? Make sure you subscribe. So 10 days, okay? Within 10 days, they're going to check to make sure your attendance roster is up to date. I have an attendance roster right here. And then when we take our tests, I'll double check all your days. I turn it in. I send it in the envelope because I'm responsible like that, okay? As long as you met the requirement. Will be getting on the highway? Yes, usually on drive 4, drive 5. I try to get kids on as soon as possible. We don't wait till the 5th or 6th hour. I find that's not enough time. We're rushing. I like you to get on. The minimum time is 4. We get on 6. We get on 8. I do more than what's expected, very intentionally. I want to make sure you know how to merge on. Some of you do not. Some of you do. Some of your parents won't ever take you on the highway because you won't go on a deep drive. You'll just go in the neighborhood to mom's house, to dad's house, to grandma's, uncles, aunties, but you'll never get a highway drive, okay? Because your parents are just really nervous. Will they ask you questions while you drive? During a road test, they will. They'll ask you certain questions. You'll have to read in whatever driver must know. So if you don't read, you won't know. Okay, I answered all the questions. I'm gonna go down to the bottom to make sure. And then I'm gonna put in some questions from you. Okay, I need all of you to put in 3 ways that driver's education can be improved. How can we improve the in-class part? How can we, and I say we as a driving instructor, driving company, how can a driver's ed company improve in-car instruction? How can they improve delivering content online? How can they improve in person? And remember, this is a luxury for all of you. Normally, we be meeting in class. I will be at a college. I will be at a high school. I would be at a church. I would be at a community center. And if we were in person, I would have 36 students. I would drive 26, and I would have a backup instructor who would drive 10. Because I've done in person. And then the max number in our state is 36 students. Online, it's 20. Okay? So my boss asked me, hey, how many students you want to drive over the Christmas break? You already have 12. I said, put it at 15 because I want to have a nice Christmas break. I want to enjoy my family, play some video games, have fun, right? And that's really important. So put in, how can a driver's education school improve, right? This is important. I always try to get better. How can the driver's education class improve? What do they need to do to improve? Okay. And then I'll share with you what some of my 16 and 17 and almost 18-year-olds said, right? So put that information in. Okay, you put that in, and then I'm gonna get the quizzy ready. I want to read that. So again, this is your chance for you to voice your class, voice your opinion, right? And then I'll tell you what my 17-year-old said, my 16-year-old said, my 18-year-old said. Give me 1 second. Guys, you put in some questions for me also. I do appreciate I had a really good day at the Velocity Center. I'm learning that we'll be really trying to get okay, what is the best thing on toast? I like peanut butter and hot sauce and pineapples. Again, what is the best thing on toast? Put that in right now. What is the best thing on toast? I like peanut butter, pineapple, and hot sauce. That's what I like, right? What's the best thing on toast? What is the best thing on toast? Okay, I had a quizzy ready, so we're going to go ahead in a moment. I want to read what you put, and then I'll share with all of you. So I'm going to the bottom. Before we get in the car, one of your drives, tell us what the road tester instructors will look like. I always do that. I always read from the sheet. I like the comment. I think good instructors are always trying to get better, right? They're reading. Okay, I'm reading from the sheet. You got to maintain good speed. In fact, I'll read a couple things right now. Preparing to drive. Driver preparing to drive. Driver fails to use seatbelt. So if you get into the car with me and you fail to put in your seatbelt, that's automatic failure. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but that's what happens. Next, fails to put both hands on the wheel. This means you're going to crash. That's not a safe condition. Fails to defrost the windows and use wipers. This means you can't see. One fails to adjust their mirror and seat properly. I have a really short kid, then I have a really tall kid. The tall kid gets in and smashes their knee on the steering wheel. The short kid gets in and he can't even touch the pedals, so she can't touch the pedals. So there's certain things that you should be able to do on your own, right? I'll read a few other things before. I like the comments you're putting in. You fail to check traffic. A lot of you pull off, no blinker, we get hit. Next, selects the wrong gear. We want to be in drive, you're in reverse, we back into a car. Fails to release park brake. Fails to signal and when leaving the curb. Speed. Some of you will go too slow. You'll cause road rage. You'll run lights. Some of you will drive too fast. If you drive too fast, you're going to get a ticket. You're going over the speed limit, even 1 mile an hour. Exceeds the posted limit. Excessive for the conditions. Let's pretend it's raining. It's at night. The speed limit is 50. You're going 50. You should be going 45. That's a really good example. So every instructor is different. Some are young. They don't tell you what to do. Some are old. They don't talk anymore. At the end of the day, the company's cracking down on students using phones. So you should not have your phone on. It shouldn't be under your leg. The good students cut their phones off. The good students have them in their pocket. This is 2025. It's almost 2026. We need to carry our phones in case of an emergency. But if you're in the back on your phone and you should be paying attention, we're wasting time. All right, let's keep going. When we drive, take us to downtown areas. Some of you are comparing how I instruct to another instructor. Doesn't mean I'm any better. Doesn't mean I'm any worse. Some instructors like more open areas, more travel on the roads. Some instructors like more downtown areas. Some instructors like more neighborhood. Some instructors like more roundabouts. Me. Some instructors like to see you really perfect steering. We'll go into a parking lot and drive through the parking lights and do figure eights to teach you how to steer. Some of you do that. Every instructor is a little bit different, Cole. I appreciate that. Do more driving schedules. At our location, we just have 6 hours. Okay. In Ohio, they have more required hours. In New York, they have different schedules. So every state is different. The driving school is here to make money. But if you just need a minimum of 6 hours, they're just going to give you 6. I'm not free. The car's not free. You have to pay for those additional hours. But I like what you're saying. Thank you, Elizabeth. Calendars with everyone involved, have papers. I always try to encourage you to write down questions, have more in person, have more in-person driving. Every schedule is different. It depends on you. Some of you are in sports, some of you are in robotics, some of you are falling asleep right now because you got to make up hours. It really depends on what you want, right? But I'm here trying to give you the best. Explain how checking mirrors is super important. We went in depth about the center mirror, the side mirrors, and I do see a difference. If you did something like an online calendar that tells everyone when they're driving, I think that would be nice. That's a good idea. Also, I think it can be kind of confusing because, we really want to see everyone's schedule? That's kind of like an invasion of privacy. But all of you know when you're driving, you shouldn't show up at the wrong time. Occasionally, I showing up at the wrong time. I'm human. Occasionally, you have to. Start with different areas instead of the same place. We start at the school in the parking lot, and then we go into a neighborhood. Then we go on the main road. I like it. I try to add up what we'll be driving on the highway this weekend. It depends on what drive you're on. If you're on drive 5 or 4, sure. Okay. Everyone is not, if you get done early with the test, can you leave? No, we have to stay the full 2 hours. State law. Got to have 24 hours. So no. Do we ever start our own house? No. We meet at the school. Your guardian needs to get you there to the school, and they need to pick you up on time. What's the best way to log your hours? There's an app called Road Ready. Okay. It's an app called Road Ready. You'll need that once you're done with me in segment 1. You do need night hours. Okay, let's look into your questions. We talked about distracted driving phones. You wish there was an online calendar so everyone can look at their schedule. You mentioned the road driver tester instructor should be telling what they do. Today, I'm a tester. Today, you're going to be taking your road test. I need you to back up at the light, make a right turn. At the next light, I need you to make a left turn. They're not going to tell you turn on your blinker, look over your shoulder, get over to the left. I need you to get to the left. We're going to be getting on the expressway. They're not going to tell you check your mirror and blind spot, look over your shoulder, get into the middle turn lane. When it's clear, make a left. They're not going to tell you that. I need you to go straight. There's a roundabout. They're not going to tell you you didn't yield. You hit a car. So I think at the beginning, there's a lot of support one-on-one because I support you. And as time goes on, I say less. But I like the questions. I think it's great. Okay, we're going to hit you with a quizzing now. We're going to see if you're really paying attention. Okay, joinmyquiz.com. Join it right now. Once everyone is in, we start. Guys, we're asking great questions. Roundabouts are very challenging for beginning drivers. They panic. Roundabouts are very common in the United States. Let's say 3 years ago, 5 years ago, there weren't that many roundabouts, but there are a lot more today. The best thing on toast, peanut butter, pineapples, and hot sauce. Again, peanut butter, pineapples, and hot sauce. I love that because toast is a very bland food. And who does not love toast out of the toaster that's hot? And then you put peanut butter on there and it melts. It's nice and smooth. I'm putting the pineapples on there, some hot sauce. Are you kidding? That is really good. Okay. You do have to be versatile. Guys, go ahead and get in. I want to get started. Okay. Again, there's no rush. You know, we're going to be here to 8:45. And then we're going to go through a couple quizzes. We'll go over the data. You'll put more questions in. We'll look at some videos, Wham Bam Tesla. We'll look at some bad weather driving videos, just really giving you everything you need. Right now, you need to try to get all of these questions right. So I'm going to go ahead and start this now. And then, yes.
I was only supposed to be here for 35 minutes and my time's up. Am I good to go?
You're good. Bye, girl.
All right.
See ya. All right, guys. So go ahead. All right, guys, go ahead and lock in. So it's really important that you pineapple. Ooh.
If I was only supposed to be here for 15 minutes, does that mean I'm good too?
Bye, man. You know your schedule. I don't know how long you're here. Bye, Aiden. All right. So we want to keep it going. We want to make sure you guys are aware and just learn everything you can. I think the biggest thing in being prepared for your test, and I'm going to go over it with you. Why? Because I care about what you guys are doing. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't take the time to go live. I wouldn't take the time to answer your questions. Now, official skills test score sheet. This is very harsh. You got to know how to drive, right? You got to know how to drive. Toast and soup. Oh, definitely. Go to Panera Bread. Yes. That Bravo, that Johnny Bravo. Are you kidding, man? Love that. Love that. I like rye toast too. Okay. Rye toast. Always. Always. Let's talk about vehicle operations. Okay. Uneven stop or start. If you're slamming the brakes, slamming the gas, you're going to show the tester that you don't have control of the car, and no one wants to be in a car where you don't have control. All right, you want to be in a car where you feel safe, and that's really important. If your game is not moving, just refresh your browser. Okay, there are 30 questions. Just refresh your browser, and we can go from here. Keep it moving, guys. Next, brakes unnecessarily. A lot of beginner drivers just tap the brake. Tap the brake. E, you in the quiz too? The quizzy 008659. 008659. Joinmyquiz.com. Again, 008659. Any of you can log in. And then I'm going to go over it and we'll see how you do. Okay. America is never falling. America's on the top. So let's understand that. All right, let's keep it moving. Stopping. Overruns the crosswalk. If you overrun a crosswalk, you're going to lose points. Okay. That shows you don't understand where the crosswalk is. No, it's for everyone. America's free, land of the free and home of the brave. You must come from a country where the citizens don't have rights. Okay. Ty, where are you from? Type that in. It's really important. Okay. So people come to America because it's the land of the free and the home of the brave. You can become an entrepreneur. You can have zero, start your own business, and then you can continue. Oh, E, I got you. 008659. Joinmyquiz.com. 008659. Okay. And I think a lot of people come here because they are oppressed. I think women, as an example, in the Middle East, where they don't have a lot of rights. They are in arranged marriages. They don't have a say in who they can marry or their body. They'll leave a foreign country, come to the United States. They have rights. Okay. A lot of people are oppressed. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, UAE. Okay. Iraq, Iran. I have plenty of students from Iraq and Iran. I love them and they love me. So I think you should be very careful with the statements you say, because it's a very broad statement. And just because I have a flag behind me, it may mean something to you. It might make you feel uncomfortable. It might make you feel like, whoa, this guy's something else. No, I'm just very patriotic. If I was in South Africa, I would have a South African flag. right? So it's really important. It's not about unlimited money. You just get what you need, okay? Unlimited, you're going to have more. Less like you have unlimited food on Thanksgiving. The rest of it's going to go to waste, okay? So think about what you're saying. Unlimited and access is wasting things. And a lot of us waste food. A lot of us waste money, okay? So keep putting the questions in. Next, I'm going to keep moving. Remember, guys, just refresh your browser. That's all you have to do. Next, fails to stop prior to the stop or curve. You will lose control of your vehicle. Put more questions in. Fails to stop at the stop light. You stop under the light. You're past a crosswalk. You're going to get several minuses. Hey, if this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Put your questions in, guys, right? I'll give you the honest answer from my perspective. You put in work. The more education you have, the harder you work. You connect yourself with people. You're going to have opportunities. Example, I was at a velocity event today. Okay, expanding. Trump is the president. That's all I think. Okay, Trump does not control me and my idiosyncrasies and what I do. I'm still an American. I still have a job. I still have 2 jobs. I still am able to think freely. He's the person. He's who the American people put in office. I'm going to keep moving. Okay? Good question. Let's keep it moving. Next, stops unnecessarily. If you stop unnecessarily, you're going to lose control. I enjoy doing, if I was a doctor and I did heart surgery, I would video my heart surgeries. I would bring you in on a consulting when I was talking to a patient who needed a heart transplant. I'm passionate about what I do. If you like cooking, there are plenty of content creators who are cooking and doing great content. Okay. If you like online shopping, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, online shopping is going to be huge. If you like putting together computers, you video yourself putting together a computer, you do an open box of your 5090 video card, you put in your power supply, you put in your CPU, you connect all your wires, and then you push start and your computer starts. So you have to do what you are passionate about. I'm passionate about driving education. I do a lot of Ask the Instructor questions behind the scenes. You get a chance to see me putting in work. Okay. You see a lot of instructors just in car, but you don't see a day in the life. Okay. And then I'm going to take the skill set to corporate. There are donors out here who will invest money in me. They believe in my goal, my passion. Our values are aligned. Okay. And then in 2026, I'm going to take you with me as far as I can, right? Because I've already signed up for trading sessions. Okay. I have an LLC, and then I'm going to have a nonprofit. And if people believe in my cause, they're going to give me 25,000. They're going to give me 80,000. They're going to get, like OpenAI. He's getting billions. I'll say it again. OpenAI. They're getting billions of dollars. The NVIDIA chip for AI machines. Anyone who does that content will just instantly grow. Keep going, guys. We'll finish up in a moment. So you have to do what you're passionate about. My daughter does real estate. I'm telling her, you need to do a day in the life of real estate. Getting up in the morning, getting ready, making your calls, getting on Zillow. Okay, getting all those things together, meeting your clients, going out to houses, people making an offer, people not making an offer, people wasting your time, and then go live and talk to the people. She had a video blow up. It's got 7,000 views. I told her, double down on that. So whatever you're passionate about, open the world up to it. Okay, there are people who love everything. Let's keep going here. Next, fails to stop at a stoplight, automatic failure, dangerous maneuver, disobeys traffic signs, one way, do not enter, fail to yield. When you come time to take your test, you got to pass it. You have to pass it, right? You got to put in work. Okay. I'm very passionate about driving, teaching driving, cars, okay? And I know it will manifest if people believe in me enough and believe in what I'm saying and in our community, there's no stopping you. We need to connect, okay? AI is here. Some people will have the AI robots that never come out. Some people will have AI assistants like me, and they will assist me and make me scale my business faster and further. Okay, example, in our session today, Canva, ChatGTP, Opus Clips. I have all of those things. Perplexity, Google AI. If you have those things, you can make your life more efficient. Okay, Alexa, they're going to have a new version. Yesterday, I was watching something internet. Alexa will be in every hotel room. Okay, Alexa, I need to order room service. Okay, tell me what you want. And then 10 minutes later, it's there. Alexa, can you recommend shoes? Okay. So our lives, and if you don't learn how to code and use AI, then you're going to be left behind. Real talk. Okay. I'm just telling you where it is. Okay. So I always look at data, and this test is almost done. We got a few more questions, guys. You guys are doing fine. And then we're going to break down this data. Then we'll see some videos, Wham Bam Tesla, and we'll just keep going. So let's keep it going. Time is going great. I'm excited because we're going to go over your first set of answers. Then you're going to be doing the next 100. And then we'll do some more interactive games. So it's going great. Keep putting your work in. But I think the good instructors want to learn. Some of you have high school teachers. Some of you have college teachers. Okay. I ran into a woman. She looks like she was in her 50s. She has a website. She's doing like social, emotional, mental health. I said, I can help you because I'm really growing right now on a lot of different platforms. I can help you. She will help me. If you find someone who is passionate about what they do, you don't always have to charge money. You help them. And this guy helped me. Hey, they need someone like you. I gave them your number. You get a call. Are you available for a one-on-one live talk? The fee is $350. Yes. They really enjoyed your talk. They want to fly you to Washington. Yes. So a lot of you are scared to get out of your comfort zone. Don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone. You got to keep growing. You got to keep learning. Okay, and that's what this is about. In 2026, I'm pushing harder. More cameras, more data, more information, right? He was on here when I talked about my lean business plan for what I want to do. Teach many people as I can how to drive. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm going to keep it moving forward so we can look at this together. And then we'll go ahead and talk about this. So the classroom accuracy is 66%. That's a D. The classroom completion is 83. The toughest question was 27. The longest question was 30. So we're going to look at this and get it going. Okay. You're going to view the report. Let's go ahead and get it. And then put in your questions as I go along. Okay, we're going to look at the questions. Which the following is an example of an important improper turn on the driving test? You swing wide. 13 of you got it right. 3 of you got it wrong. You always want to turn into the nearest lane. Okay? Because it facilitates a smoother flow. But what if I can't turn into the nearest lane? Let's pretend there's an accident. You slow down. You turn on your blinker. You look over your shoulder. You wait for it to be clear. Okay, but turn into the nearest lane. Guys, put in your questions that go along. I'm picking this up. What action will result in a failing the parallel park portion of the test? Being more than 2 feet away from the curb, you're in the street, or getting on the curb. You have to know how to parallel park. You're going to be going to downtown areas, going to sporting events, shopping, concerts, okay? So you have to know. Turn into the nearest lane. Next, what is the safest following distance to maintain behind another vehicle to pass the driving test? 3 to 4 seconds. 4 of you said 10 seconds. That's too far away. 1 is too close. 3 to 4 seconds. And if you apply these road test type questions, you're going to get a good grade and you're going to drive safe. Let's keep going. Put in questions as I go along. What should you do to pass when stopped on a hill during the test? You want to use your park brake to prevent your car from rolling back. Okay, you want to prevent your car from rolling back. That's a very dangerous maneuver and you could hit a car. What is the correct action when you hear sirens from an emergency vehicle? You want to pull over to the side, Luke. A lot of beginning drivers just stop, or maybe have your headphones on, or your music's up. So I think you really got to put priority first. Noah put priority first. Jaron put priority first. Wear the right shoes when you drive. Be ready to go. Your teachers care. Your driving instructor cares. Your coach cares. Your parents care. And once you realize there are people in your circle who care, you're going to do a great job. So it's really important that you understand this. Exceeding the speed limit during the road test will result in an automatic fail. Exceeding the speed limit. Automatic fail. So, well, what if I go 1 over? Fail. What if I go 2 over? Fail. What if everyone is driving fast and over the limit? Fail. You have to do your best. Okay? There we go. Thank you. All right, let's keep it moving. What is the main reason stopping on a railroad track is an automatic fail? It's a dangerous maneuver. It's a dangerous maneuver. Because a train could come. Trains always have the right of way. What is the purpose of the road test practice checklist? It avoids mistakes. It gives you confidence. When you guys drive with me or any instructor or your mom or dad, drive with confidence. Next, what document is required to be brought to the driving test? The learner's permit. What should you do when you're pulled out of a parking lot during the test? Signal. Okay, always signal. Let pedestrians know where you're going, bike riders know where you're going, and cars know where you're going. What's the, when preparing to turn or change lanes, how long should you signal before making a move? It's about 3 to 5 seconds. Some of you said 1 to 2, too short. Some of you said 6 to 8, too long. 3 to 5 seconds. Which of the following is not a correct step in parallel parking? Hitting the curb. Let's keep going. When merging onto a freeway, what should you do? Get your speed up, match the speed of the traffic. How can you practice in the test area to help you drive? It reduces your nerves. It makes you familiar. But road testers have 3 or 4 different routes that are submitted to the state. They don't always go on the same route. But you're going to drive in a neighborhood. You're going to be in a business area. You're going to have to merge on the freeway. You're going to have to make, I'll tell you right now, you're going to have to make multiple left turns, multiple right turns. You're going to have to go through a roundabout if available. You're going to have to merge on the freeway. You're going to need to be able to signal your intention. And if you fail the test, the examiner will tell you, okay, everyone is different. Sometimes stuff is old, but remember, there's a lot of old stuff on there. I put stuff on from 5 years ago, but the test changes every year. So I'll say it again. I would say it's okay, but I don't want to be okay. I want the best available materials. Let's keep moving. What should a driver do at a stale yellow light? Stop safely. Never slam brakes. What is considered a failing action when pedestrians are crossing? When you're creeping forward, when the pedestrian is crossing. What is considered a failing action regarding adaptive cruise control misuse during the test? Letting the car control speed during the test. You should cut off all of those adaptive controls. What is the success rate of parallel parking when using reference points? It is 92%. So you want to look ahead, look at the hood line reference points. A lot of you still hug the right. You're going to go off the edge of the road, literally fall off into the ditch, or you'll hug the left and get sideswiped. So you want to learn that your first or second drive. Let's keep going. What is the purpose of tactile feedback? to provide a vibrating seat to remind you of blind spots. Some newer cars have that. Sometimes the steering wheel might shake. It depends on the car. Some cars have newer features. Who benefits from the NHSA tactile feed system? Hearing impaired drivers. What should be demonstrated from wipers and mirrors during the pre-driving checklist? All settings. They may have you turn on the blinker, turn on the wipers. What is one instructor notes to improve parallel parking skills? Needs more curved line reference. So you want to really make sure you're practicing parallel parking. What is recommended practice for improved highway merging? According to the instructor notes, third gear pass. When you first make your turn onto the freeway, you're at 1. The second one is second gear because you're pushing the gas. By the time you get around 35, your car is around third gear. Every car is different. And then you want to build up enough speed and momentum. According to specific statistics, teens who train with 3+ weather scenarios pass their first driving attempt. Driving in the rain, driving in the snow, driving at night. Fair weather conditions, about 64%. 6 of you got that right. According to the 2023 Minnesota study, what common mistakes caused by 27% of failed drivers at four-way stops? Waving another driver through out of turn. Some of you will do that because you don't understand the rules of the right of way. While rule reduce errors, 71% of left turn anxieties. So you're looking at left turns. There's a lot of anxiety. You want to have a 3-second gap. You want to pull up. You don't want to hit one pedal. You don't want to hydroplane. That's water. So some of you don't understand hydroplane. Hydroplane is dealing with water. It doesn't say anything about water. One pedal. Some of you don't understand that what a one pedal is. The creep mode. You want to have room. You want to look left, look right, and then you can safely make that left turn. According to the Purdue wet weather crash of 2024 study, what percentage of wet tests were failed due to teens slamming brakes during hydroplaning? 89%. There's some tough questions here, but it's good. In the Midwest trucking safety, the study, which was resulted from Iowa's truck blind VR simulator, none of you mentioned simulators in driver's ed. Reduce errors by 58%. So if we have more computer activities to teach you, that's going to help you. According to Safe Roads Alliance, what percentage faster do Midwest teens with hazard perception training apps pass? It's about 73%. Anytime you're exposed to truckers, highways, night driving, rain driving, you're going to be a good driver because it gets dark at 6:30, and then some of you won't be driving. Which study is cited for simulating Chicago construction zones? IDOT. Okay, type in what you learned. Again, type in what you learned, guys. This is your class. Some of you just in here like you're about to fall asleep. I'm chilling. I'm locked in. Type in what you learned. Yeah, we'll do more. Type in what you learned. I'm getting Wham Bam Tesla up. We'll be doing the questions the second half of the class because you got extra time anyway. So I'm front loading the class with fun ideas, fun things. But the second half of the class, you're going to work. And that's the way it should be. So put in your questions. Put in what you learned. When you do this, this tells me you're more meaningfully engaged. Remember, I'm an educator. My test data is good. Okay, structure. Put in what you learned. My uncle lives in Amsterdam, so beautiful area. Beautiful area. Go ahead, put in what you learned, please. Yes, I think a lot of people who have really good driving coaches will definitely get out there. And if you have a driving coach that's kind of lazy, you won't learn a lot. I try to expose you to everything I can, and I really try to help you and make sure you are all set for success. That's really important. You will be removed. Yeah, I believe you are, you got the information to do that, right?
The reason we exist is
Let me get
because
this ready.
we cannot stay ahead of all threats. So what we do is we block by default. Road rage get.
All right, guys, I want to say thank you, E. Really appreciate you so much. And we're going to lock you in. Whatever I get, E, I'll send it to you. It's all good. I want to say thank you, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join the revolution. E, thank you so much. Nothing but care. Bye, guys.